Welcome back to lovely Savannah, Georgia. It's time for the third period of action here. The championship game of the Memorial Health Hockey Classic. It's the Georgia Ice Dogs and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I'm Mike Tingle with the play-by-play action for you. Joey Fisher on camera, the video display. Thank you all for joining me tonight out at UGAHockey.com. As you might notice, the score at this point, 3-1. Ice Dogs on top of Georgia Tech with just 20 minutes left to play. 20 minutes separating Georgia from their third consecutive Thrasher Cup victory. It was all Georgia there in that second period, especially on the scoring end. David Bassano getting credit for one of the goals. John Seaton picking up his first goal of the night. Now Seaton has 4 goals here on this tournament for Georgia. An outstanding showing for him. He is certainly getting my vote for tournament MVP. As we get set to head back onto the ice now to start the third period. Harry Curbo in net. Just to our left will be Georgia defending this end of the ice. Georgia Tech over on the far side. Ryan Wickstrom in the circle there for Georgia. He'll be squaring off against the captain of the Yellow Jackets. That would be big number 19, Mike Zoucha. The faceoff is down, controlled by Georgia. Rosenberg, cross-ice pass, trying to feed his man over there in Briette. It's going to go down the length of the ice. Wickstrom giving chase. Wickstrom taken by Georgia Tech. Controlled again back over down low. The Yellow Jackets is trying to get this one up and outside the zone. You can only imagine the conversation that was had, or should I say the monologue that was delivered to them by head coach Stathis as Georgia Tech moves along. Moving it through between the circle. There's a quick shot, and the save is made by Curbo. Curbo's had a great tournament thus far as the puck floats right back in front. Georgia still can't clear. Taken by Rosenberg, and now Rosie has control, and the respect that these Georgia Tech attackers give Rosenberg when he has the puck is something else as the quick shot goes over the top of the glass. Taken over by Georgia on the far side. Floating back behind the net. Rice giving this one a look. Tech trying to clear. Can they? They cannot. Now they can. Rosenberg has it back at center ice. Dave for Rosenberg. Rosie skating this one through. Trying to get across the blue line. He can. Rosenberg has no help right now. It's him on 3 different Yellow Jackets, and eventually Georgia Tech regains control, though it's going to float right back out to a Georgia Attacker. Man loose in the slot. There's a wrist shot, and I believe that Rice got a piece of that one. Floating back over here on the near side, and it's going to be a delayed offside, I believe, so Georgia Tech is going to get a free clear. Here come the Yellow Jackets the other way with the puck. Intercepted, though, by John Seaton. Seaton throwing it in front to Gillen. Gillen's taken down. Penalty coming here on Georgia Tech, and Georgia is going to have the advantage to start the third period. We are just only a minute and a half in. It's 18:29 left to play here in the third. And now Georgia's going to have their first power play in some time now. It's going to be number 13, O'Connor. It's going to be sent to the box, looks like, for hooking. Interesting note for Georgia Tech, number 17, Josh Krishinger, has headed to the locker room. I'm not sure what the case is for that. Could be any number of things. Damage to his skates, perhaps. He seemed to be just fine, moving at a good speed. Didn't look like he was hurt. We'll see if Krishinger comes back a little bit later on in the period. As the puck is played back lackadaisically, Georgia controlling it at their own blue line. A cross-ice pass to Bosma. Bosma has 1 goal already tonight. Rosenberg has it along the near boards, across the red, across the blue, over to Bassano. Bassano, the quick wrist shot, doesn't make it through traffic, and it goes back right in front of the near side. Bassano working on it, back to Rosenberg. Rosie thinking about it, still thinking about it. Wrist shot goes wide of the net. He needs to just rear back and let that slap shot go. Taken by Weiss now. Weiss controlling back behind the net. Weiss is going to hang on to this one, looking for some help. He's got Rosie back at the point, trying to feed it back to him, and it's intercepted by Georgia Tech. This one will be launched into the bench. 17:44 left to go in period number 3. It's Georgia with a 3-1 lead, a minute 15 left to go on the Georgia power play. Most of the fans still here in attendance tonight. The Georgia Tech fans not quite willing to give up on their team yet. 17 minutes of hockey remaining. Seaton in the face-off circle for Georgia. The draw's down and won by the Ice Dogs. Joe O'Donnell to chase it down inside his own end. Cross-ice pass back over to Habermel. Habs is going to go cross-ice again. This one will be deflected up. Heads up out there. Seems as though everybody is okay, and somebody's got a souvenir. 17:34 left to go in period number 3. Repeated puck out of play stoppages. That's hold to face off back around center ice. 3-1 Ice Dogs. A minute 6 left in the Georgia man advantage. Joe O'Donnell controlling inside his own end. O'Donnell skating this one back, playing it back up to Tim McAfee. McAfee has some jets on him. He's across the red. He's across the blue around one man, trying to get that wrister off, but he got tied up, and Georgia Tech will clear the length of the ice. There will be no icing because Georgia is on the power play, taken by Joe O'Donnell. O'Donnell moving this one along. Cross ice pass to Habermill. Plays it along to Tim McAfee. McAfee back to Habermill at the red line. Cross ice pass to Joe O'Donnell. O'Donnell moving this one inside the zone. Quick wrist shot goes wide of the net. And the Jackets will try to clear this one back out. Habermill lost it in the linesman's skates. Got it right back. Tried to play it through, and it's going to be intercepted by Tech, but given right back to Georgia. Puck loose in the neutral zone, controlled by Briette. 20 seconds left in the Georgia power play. I'm not sure if they even have a shot on net yet on this power play attack, taken by Habermill. Habermill has got help from Seaton, also has help from Joe O'Donnell, but Georgia having problems getting the puck inside the zone. That counts as a small victory here for Georgia Tech as they play this one back along behind the net, taken by Curbo, back over to Habermill. Habermill is going to reset the offense instead. No, he's just going to flip this one through, and that'll do it for the Georgia power play. A very poor power play to start the third period here. 16 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the third. Georgia Tech controlling as they let one fly over the top of the crossbar. Again from the blue line. Again, they're having so much problems trying to get some penetration on net. There's a big shot. Glove down by Harry Curbo. And the rebound is still loose in the slot. Georgia Tech is going to try to get on it. That's Whitney Yu. Yu is going to take it down in the near boards. Playing it back in front of us. Taken by Joe O'Donnell. Trying to clear. Can he? Yes, he can. That won't make it the length of the ice. There will be no icing. Georgia changing things up. Rosenberg on the ice. Connor Kelly on the ice. Bassano on the ice. Briette on the ice. And Georgia Tech has it at the red line. Trying to dump this one in. Connor Kelly controlling. Intercepted though by Tech. Big slap shot there. Glove down by Curbo. Just flashing some more good leather. He's been strong to the glove side tonight. 15:40 left to go here in the third. It is 3-1. Ice Dogs on top of Georgia Tech. So we head back to the face-off circle. Wickstrom there for Georgia. Let's see who's going to square off for Georgia Tech. It looks like it's going to be big number 10 for them. Dan Sweeney drawn down, controlled by the Ice Dogs. Rosenberg has it around the end board. Can he clear? Yes, he can. Here's a chance for Ryan Briette. Briette skating in. He's taken out hard into the boards as Nick Rice played the puck, and his legs taken out under him incidentally by a Georgia player. As the Jackets come back, just trying to regain control and trying to clear it back outside the zone. Played along back behind the net. Connor Kelly has it. There's a big shot. Not sure if that one even made it through the traffic. Ended up over on the far side. Rosenberg has it. Played it down low. Briette gave it a look. Georgia Tech just trying to get this one back outside their zone. It's been a struggle for them all game long. Played back over in the far side. Briette down on his knees, moves it along. Taken by Wickstrom. Wickstrom to Connor Kelly with a slap shot. Bouncing puck. Never made it through the traffic. And Rosenberg will move this one along. Played along, taken by the Jackets. Back out to the neutral ice. 14:40 left to go here in the third period. It's 3-1 Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. Controlled by Christinger, so he is back out there on the ice now. He has come back, got his equipment issue taken care of, and is getting some ice time again. Moving along, Andrew Weiss has it. Weiss back behind the net. Tied it back over on the far side. Nothing doing, and nothing doing. And Matt wrapped this one around the inboards. Connor Kelly wants another slap shot. Couldn't get it set in time. Let go a weak shot there, and it'll be cleared back outside the zone. Back out to center ice. Taken by Kelly again at the red line. He'll blast it on Rice. Rice makes the easy save. And we play back along to Christinger. Christinger moving this one along. They send it back down into the Georgia end narrowly. Taken by Rosenberg. Rosenberg cross ice back over to Weiss. Weiss intercepted though, taken back by Georgia. That's Bosma moving in, poke checked away. And here come the Jackets the other way. Can they get outside their zone? No, they can't. Held in by Bosma. Drop pass down low. Weiss with a shot. Save made by Rice. Rebound still loose. And they're saying no goal. No goal. Save made by Rice. He covered it up. The horn is going off, but it is no goal. There have been two very close calls down there at that end. And this is one of them, my friends. Andrew Weiss got robbed earlier in the game. Back in the first period, he thought he had that first goal of the game. Puck was still alive, floating loose in the crease, and Lee Bosman ended up banging that one home. In this case, the puck was loose in the crease, and Rice just covered that one right back up. 13:42 left to go in the third period. It's 3-1, Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. It is not quite time for the Yellow Jackets to panic. Still a lot of hockey to be played. Kearney has it back at the point, cycling this one back down low. Big hit there late on there by Gillen. As Gillen playing the body, puck is still loose. Back at the blue line, and Georgia Tech trying to clear. They still can't do it. Now they can. And can the Yellow Jackets finally start to break the other way? They can't do that. Again, Joel Kearney is going to control for Georgia, as the Yellow Jackets have done nothing offensively in the third period. I believe they have just one shot on goal. Moving this one through, here's Tim McPhee. McPhee on the break, wrist shot, save made by Rice, and he covers this one up. Rice has been outstanding in net for this entire tournament. He was perhaps the leading contender to be the all-tournament goalie, at least until he gave up 3 goals here against Georgia. And that's where he lost my vote. That's all right. He's been very strong in there. They're trying to follow in the shoes of old Roland Spurlick, the great goaltender for Georgia Tech, who always did seem to have some problems against these Georgia Bulldogs. Face-off coming out to Rice's left. It's going to be you in the face-off circle against Hodges. Linesman doesn't like what he sees. He's going to slow things down. Here we go. Puck down, controlled by Georgia. That's William Steele getting a stick on it, but Georgia Tech with a quick control. And the Yellow Jackets turn it right back over. The third period has been all Georgia, no doubt. Georgia Tech dumps it right back inside the Georgia end. Watch the penetration that Georgia Tech gets here. They float one man in. They finally float a second man in. This is the best opportunity they've had here in this period. And now Steele has it. Steele tries to clear, can't do it. Back goes to Stapleton with the big slap shot. Doesn't make it through traffic. And now Scott Stubbs controlling back behind the briefcase. And we sent down the length of the ice. Will it be icing? It will not be, as Stapleton goes back to play this one for Georgia Tech. They give this one up to William Steele. This one will be covered up by Nick Rice. 12:23 left to go in the third period. It is 3-1 Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. The final 12.5 minutes of hockey here in Savannah. It's been another successful Memorial Health Hockey Classic. Both Georgia and Georgia Tech had stellar first games. 14-1 for Georgia over Florida, and it was 7-0 Georgia Tech over the Florida State Seminoles. Now, Florida State did win their game earlier today against the Florida Gators in an interesting game that ended with a little bit of a slap fight when it was all said and done between the two teams, but they eventually did get off the ice, and now we're playing. 12:10 left to go here in the third period. 3-1 Ice Dogs. Played along back over on the far side, taken by Havermel. Havermel has it. There's Wickstrom. Wickstrom looking on. Wickstrom, he's being worked over by 2 Yellow Jackets looking for some help. They got plenty of help back at the point, and there it is. Dave Rosenberg, wrist shot there, didn't make it through traffic, and Tech will clear. But what do they do when they get it back out to center ice? Turn it right back over. They're gliding everywhere. Georgia Tech is tired right now. Not to say that Georgia isn't, but it's much more apparent on the faces and on the mannerisms of these Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Rosenberg controlling over on the far side over to Habermel. Habermel controlling across the red, across the blue. The defenseman is going to be double up on, and Tech will finally regain control. They clear it back out, but not inside the Georgia end, as Connor Kelly's going to be rubbed hard into the Georgia bench. And it'll be taken by the captain, David Bassano. Boss skating in, still controlling, still holding. He's going to be hit hard. Will there be a penalty? There will not. Puck played back behind the net. Taken by Bassano, throwing it in front, and Bosma failed on the one-time chance. And it's still loose there. Finally, Georgia Tech will control. We'll see how this rush ends as they wrap it around the end boards. And Georgia Tech will get a much-needed line change here. Rosenberg has it for Georgia. He slows things up. Dishes over to Habermel. He's going to be doubled up on. And Georgia Tech with an opportunity here, but they forgot the puck. Back around the end boards it goes. Blasted out by Wickstrom. And taken back at the red line by the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Moving this one across the red. Can they get there? No, they can't. Big hit there right at the blue line as Andrew Weiss taking his man down. And he eventually slowed to get up as the puck is played back at the red line. Big cross-ice pass. Good chance here. Big number 12 with a wrist shot going top shelf. Couldn't find the twine as we get play back in front. Baker giving chase. Porter giving way. Weiss will run it down for the Ice Dogs. Controlled again by Lee Bosma. Bosma is going to send this one back down the length of the ice. Will there be icing? They wave it off. Played by Rice. Back along to his defenseman. Back out to Joe O'Donnell at the red line. Somebody lost their stick. It could be a broken stick out there. I'm trying to see if there's a man who is sans twig. I see no one at the moment. As Georgia skates in, Andrew Weiss. Weiss is going to have it taken away from him. And Georgia Tech controlling, time to clear. Joe O'Donnell with a quick shot there, covered up by Nick Rice. Again, he's looked very good in net tonight. The number of shots that he has faced has been higher than he typically sees over the course of an evening. And for him to give up only 3 has been a very good showing there by Rice. He's had a good game tonight, no doubt. He's shown a good technique, good form. All the goals have been scored by Georgia, have been due to just finesse or just outworking the Georgia Tech defense. This isn't like what we saw the other night with Sam Schiller in net for the Florida Gators, where he had an abysmal night from the word go. But Nick Rice has looked very strong in net tonight for Georgia Tech. Not to say that Harry Curbo hasn't looked fantastic as well for the Ice Dogs. He's only given up 1 tonight. He's only given up 2 on the tournament. As the puck is played along by the Yellow Jackets, moving this one through O'Leary. O'Leary going to be worked on by McAfee. Only about a 1-foot height differential there. Big hit right in front of us. Joe O'Donnell just crushing his man and then giving a nice little celebratory thrust. And I think there's a Georgia Tech player down right in front of us as they ice the puck. And we're going to need to get somebody out to look at this person who we can't see right now. He's laying, again, directly right in front of us. Joe O'Donnell just crunched him into the boards. As now he's going to get tended to. I certainly hope that he's going to be okay. That was a big shot that Joe O'Donnell took his player into the boards, and he has stayed down. I can't see from this vantage point if he's moving any at all, but they do have the medical personnel out there to take a look at him. Didn't see what number it was that got taken down either. We'll see if we can get that for you. With 9:21 left to go here in the third period, Georgia with a 3-1 advantage. And it looks like it is number 13 for Georgia Tech. That's Brian O'Connor. And he is finally getting up off the ice. Big round of applause there for him. Brian O'Connor, they're talking to him, trying to make sure he's okay, trying to make sure he knows where he is right now. And he seems to be all right. He's just going to man up, and he's going to go out there and play hockey. These kids are all tough. Doesn't matter if you go to Georgia, doesn't matter if you go to Georgia Tech. They're all athletes out there. And O'Connor's going to skate off in his own power. That is very good to see. A much-deserved round of applause as Joe O'Donnell just crushed his man into the boards. I would love to see a replay of that. We don't have that at our disposal right here. You probably do at home if you want to back up your real player a minute or two. Get a look at that if we caught that on tape. Joey Fisher, he is man of the camera for us here tonight. He's done an outstanding job in all aspects of this broadcast. My name is Mike Tingle. I thank you all for joining us out here at UGAHockey.com. If you'd like to reach me, the email address is mtingle@gmail.com. Now we're going to have a face-off here inside the Georgia end after that icing. It's going to be Wickstrom in the face-off circle for Georgia Tech. Still changing things up down in their own end, and they haven't decided who's going to take that draw just yet. Looks like it's going to be big number 10, Dan Sweeney. The freshman from Canton, Massachusetts in the circle. Draw down, won by Tech. Can they finally get a semblance of an attack going? No, they can. I don't even get a chance to finish my sentence for Georgia has the puck in the middle of the neutral zone. What are you going to do about that? Stapleton has it inside his own end. 9 minutes, 8 seconds left to go in the third period. It's 3-1. Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. Avermell passing this one along all the way back down low. Christian Gattung giving chase for the Jackets. Played along. Taken by Wickstrom. Wickstrom has it. Back behind the net. Over there by Briette. Giving chase again, taken by Bassano. Bassano has it. Still hanging on to it. Bassano is going to be chased down, and Georgia Tech will come away with the puck. Here's where they've had problems this third period. Here you expect a dump or a slap shot, and there's the slap shot. It's on net. Curbo makes the save. An easy save for him, and that's been the case most of the night. Instead of trying to put together any sort of a sustained attack, Georgia Tech has been dumping the puck into the blue line or just letting a slap shot go, and it hasn't worked for them at all over the course of the night. The one goal that they did score was on the power play. They had the sustained attack. They had men in front generating traffic. They floated back over to the far side at the edge of the circle, and number 12, Tom Porter, is able to let go a wicked slap shot. I'm not sure if Curbo even saw, but they have abandoned that particular strategy in lieu of this, taking bad shots from the blue line that are either wide of the net or are easy saves for Curbo. If they're going to get back into this hockey match, they got to change things back up. Puck controlled by David Bassano. He's going to wrap this one around the end boards. Nick Rice back to play it. Georgia's going to change things up a little bit. Briette off the ice. Bosma on. Played along by Tech over on the far side. Let's see what they do when they get to the blue line. And it's going to be knocked away and intercepted again by Bosma. So much can be said about what has been happening when Georgia Tech gets the puck at the blue line. Controlled along back behind the net. Played along, held by Bosma. He's got help at the point in Rosenberg. And it's going to be poke checked away. Can they clear it out? No, they cannot. Still loose. Still being played along. And here come the Jackets. Let's see what they do when they get to the blue line here. They're going to skate this one in this time. Let go wrist shot. Great kick save by Curbo. And Georgia clears. A little bit better penetration there for Tech. As finally it's going to be played along. Big slap shot. Glove down by Curbo. It was going well wide of the net. But hey, you can't fault him for getting his mitts on it. As Tech is going to change things up behind the play. Is Georgia going to catch him napping with a long pass? No, they will not. Andrew Weiss across the red, across the blue. Weiss trying to skate in. Runs into a lot of trouble. 7:15 left to go in the third period. It's 3-1. Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. The Thrasher Cup is on the line. The Yellow Jackets are running out of time here tonight. And we're going to have a penalty here against Georgia as a Yellow Jacket was taken down back behind the play. He is slow to get up. And now that it appears that the whistle has been blown for the penalty, he's back up and he's okay. I'm just saying. Andrew Weiss in the penalty box for Georgia. The call is likely going to be tripping. It's 7 minutes and change left to go here in the third period. It's 3-1 Georgia. And this is the best opportunity for Tech to get on the board here in the third period. Their one goal they scored was on the power play. It was very early in the power play, about 20 seconds in. Let's see if they jump right back on the attack here tonight. Do that, they got to win face-offs. Georgia getting the win. They take it inside their own end, and eventually they blast it back inside the Georgia Tech zone. It is indeed Weiss 2 minutes for tripping. Georgia Tech on the power play. Joe O'Donnell has it along the goal line. He's going to pin it down there. That is a heads-up play by Joe. Pin the puck. Kill time off the clock. You can see the referee at the edge of your screen, perhaps, making them move it. That whistle nowhere near his lips till now, and he blows it dead. 6:37 left to go in the third period. It is 3-1. Ice Dogs. O'Connor and O'Leary on the ice for Georgia Tech, along with Whitney Yu, but they're going to change things up a little bit. Trying to see if the captain's on the ice. Mike Zauchi, yes he is. Along with the late arrival, number 12, Tom Porter, who scored that goal earlier in this game. This one will be played along and cleared down the length of the ice, and looks like another Georgia Tech player is down. Looks like he took a puck up high, perhaps a stick up high, maybe in the throat. He's not wearing a throat guard, and we have a whistle. We've got another Tech player that needs to be attended to. That looks like that is number 4, Whitney Yu. He is slow to get up. He's worked his way to one knee, and now he's going to skate off the ice. And we are going to have a penalty called for a high stick on Ryan Briette, relating directly to Wu getting hurt. Or rather, you getting hurt. That's Y-I-U, not you, the listener. It's now Georgia Tech with a 2-man advantage here for the next minute and 23 seconds. If ever there was a golden opportunity for Georgia Tech to get back into this hockey match, this is it. The pep band is back up and active. The pep band is back up and alive. And it looks like we have a timeout here on the ice, likely called by Georgia. It is actually called by Georgia Tech. So they're going to talk about this for a second, try to figure out the best way to kill off these penalties. We're at the Savannah Civic Center in lovely Savannah, Georgia, the championship game of the Memorial Health Hockey Classic. Mike Tingle here alongside Joey Fisher, who's doing a fantastic job. Their video display for the webcast here tonight. Again, I thank all you guys for coming out to UJHockey.com, checking out all the action. We apologize that we are unable to stream things for you, but we had some problems with the servers back at the University of Georgia. I haven't been able to bring it to you live tonight, but we're doing the next best thing, podcasting it period by period. As you can see, not too many empty seats you can see out there. When this game started, there was not an empty seat to be found anywhere. A few fans have left, most of them Florida and Florida State fans, but a strong contingency from Georgia and Georgia Tech still very much making their presence felt as we drift over. There's that old Georgia Tech pep band once again. They've been quiet for most of the game. There's the final few seconds of the timeout. Wrap up. When we get back on the ice, Georgia's going to be at a 5-on-3 disadvantage, as Harry Curbo is back out there on the ice. Nick Rice returns to his crease. We're about set to have a face-off here. It's going to be Bassano in the circle for Georgia. Very important face-off win here, and it's taken by Georgia Tech. Let's see what they decide to do with the 5-on-3 advantage. Here comes Zaucha moving in. He knows not to take a shot from the blue line. He is the veteran. He is the captain. He plays smarter hockey than that. He'll slow it down. Cross-ice pass. That's going to be taken by Gull. Gull winding up. Back over to the point man. Big slap shot got redirected wide of the net. And as a Georgia player, I think it was Habermel diving to try to block that shot. Back it goes again. I believe that's Gull. Back to the point man, Zaucha. Zaucha with the wrist shot goes just wide of the net. Not sure if Curvo saw that to the last possible second. O'Leary has it. He's trying to feed it back to the point man, Zaucha. It goes over his stick. Tough break for Georgia Tech. And they'll have to reload their offense. 5:40 left to go in the third period. 38 seconds left in the two-man advantage for the Yellow Jackets. Moving all the way in is Christian Gatung. One of the alternate captains being worked over by Rosenberg. He's got a lot of help here. I mean, they have a two-man advantage. He doesn't need to do things all by himself. Porter has it. He's the goal scorer. Wrist shot. Great save by Curbo, but he never saw it. It went right off his chest protector. Back it goes, controlled again by Porter. Porter trying to cycle this one over to Zaucha. Zaucha looking for the wrist shot. Couldn't get it. And it's going to be sent back down low as a Georgia player taken down. That'll be a penalty. Christian Gatung has just made a terrible mistake in the form of a hooking penalty. And that 5-on-3 is going to become a 5-on-4, rather a 4-on-3. And in 7 seconds, that will turn back into a 4-on-4. So Georgia Tech with every advantage there, but a stupid penalty by Christian Gatung. And just like that, we are back to 4-on-4 hockey. Georgia Tech still going in the attack, though. Here comes Georgia, though. A chance for Andrew Weiss. It's him and Nick Rice. And Rice is going to have a look at this and watch it go by for icing. 4:54 left to go in the third period. 3-1 Ice Dogs. It's starting to get to that point where you start thinking about Georgia Tech and you think about Nick Rice and how long he's going to be in net. My guess, 2 minutes more before they pull him for the extra attacker. That's when it comes down to desperation time. You in the circle against Wickstrom. Face-off won by Tech, but is quickly intercepted, though, by Wickstrom, who's going to pass it along to Lee Bosma. Bosma moving in, trying to get to the wrister, but it's going to be deflected wide. Trying to throw this one in front, back to Wickstrom. Back over to the point man. That's going to be Rosenberg. Rosie hanging on to it, skating this one back. Calling for it is Wickstrom. Skating all the way back at the edge of the blue line. Wickstrom, he is wide open, thinking about that shot. Wrist shot, save made by Rice. Rebound by Habermel is going to be deflected wide of the net. Georgia could have put this game away with that goal right there. And here come the Yellow Jackets. Delayed penalty here coming on Georgia now. Big slam there as Wickstrom takes him into the boards. And another Georgia Tech player is down. It's going to be a slashing call against Georgia here. And it's going to be on number 6, Brian Habermel. So just like that, we went from a Georgia power play, which we were just seconds into that power play, by the way, to 4-on-4 hockey one more time. With 4:17 left to go here in the third period, Georgia with a 3-1 advantage. The Thrasher Cup is on the line. The Georgia Tech pep band, silent. Whitney Yu in the circle for Georgia Tech. Andrew Weiss to take the draw for Georgia. Puck down, controlled by the Ice Dogs. Intercepted, though, very quickly there by Brendan O'Leary. Played along over there. There's a big shot over the top of the crossbar. And Tech still going on the attack, but intercepted by Bassano. Long pass to Andrew Weiss. Weiss on the break, moving all the way in. He's tripped. Shot. Save made. Penalty coming here, though, for that trip. And I am curious, how much of an edge are they going to say that Weiss had there? If he had a stride, it could be a penalty shot. We'll wait for just a second to see what the official is going to go with here. It is just going to be, looks like, a tripping penalty, and number 21 for Georgia Tech, the defenseman Hunter Gull. So now Georgia will have a 4-on-3 power play. Things are really starting to get chippy here in the final minutes. There will be no penalty shot. Perhaps that was just wishful thinking. Boy, for Georgia to ice this game with a penalty shot late in the third period, that would be something else. As we get set for the face-off, it's going to be Weiss. in the circle for Georgia, and Tech will clear this one down the length of the ice. There'll be no icing, doesn't make it. Kerbo plays it, and they are in the shorthand anyway. Bad turnover there by Rosenberg, but he regains control, and Joe O'Donnell will have it for the Dogs. Time is on Georgia's side now. Taken by the captain, David Bassano. Bassano moving in, still holding. Rosenberg has it. Back over to Bassano. Boss has it, throwing back in front. One-time chance, he scores! Andrew Weiss banging home the one-timer. 4-1 Ice Dogs. That is a power play goal, and this one might be in the bag. Look at those Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket fans streaming to the exit. En masse, those Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket fans are headed out. 3 minutes and 32 seconds left to go here in the game. Georgia now with a 3-goal advantage. It is 4-1. As we get set for the face-off back at center ice. Played along by Tech. They're going to dump this one in. Joe O'Donnell playing this one. O'Donnell around the end boards. They're going to have the assist of the captain, David Bassano, and also into the dime, number 5, Dave Rosenberg. Here come the Yellow Jackets moving this one across. Seaton has it. Seaton scaling this one over to Wickstrom. Wickstrom and Seaton. Seaton with a wrist shot. Save made by Rice. The rebound is taken by Georgia Tech. John Seaton was quoted in the local paper saying that Georgia wanted to win real bad, and that's a direct quote. Well, the boys gave him a hard time about that in the locker room, but he has played tremendously all throughout this hockey weekend. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the third period. We'll keep an eye on Nick Rice for you. 4-1 Ice Dogs. As Joe O'Donnell controlling at the edge of the right circle. Over to Rosenberg. Time is all on Georgia's side. Rosie playing it up, intercepted though by Tech, but they got to slow things down here. They are horrifically offside, but now they get back onside. Rosenberg playing this one along, taking over to Bosma. John Seaton giving chase. Seaton playing this one back down low. Taken over by number 18, roughed up there in the corner. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. Rice is looking over to the bench. And now George is going to be on the power play for the next 15 seconds. Big crushing blow back at center ice. And George is throwing their weight around. Mike Williams just sending his man to the ice. As there's Whitney Yu. He probably doesn't want a part of this. Big hit at center ice. Mike Williams getting mixed up there with his man. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Here's Lee Bosma skating in. Around one man, around two. Wrist shot, save made. Penalty coming here on Georgia Tech. Big hit behind the play by Rosenberg. And Rosie wants to roll a little bit. And he is going to be sent to the box, it looks like. And that's a tough break there for Dave Rosenberg, because you know he wants to be out there on the ice for the final minute and 52 seconds. There's a lot of jarring going on out there. So Mike Williams in the box. Dave Rosenberg also in the box. We're going to assume it's roughing in both cases. And unless a goal is scored, neither one of these guys are going to be getting out anytime soon. So they will be in there until the end of the game unless, again, a goal is scored. And it looks like Dave Rosenberg is getting out. No, he's not. Wishful thinking. As the referee is going to chat things up with the official score. 1 minute, 52 seconds left here in the third period. Georgia with a 4-1 advantage over Georgia Tech. Thank you for tuning in here at UGAHockey.com. My name is Mike Tingle. I appreciate you bearing with us through all our technical problems and enjoying some quality Georgia Ice Dog hockey. Shame you couldn't make out here to Savannah. It's been a great showing for all these teams, for Georgia, for Georgia Tech. Florida and Florida State had a pretty good game earlier today. And Florida State got the better of the Gators when it was all said and done. And now we're just going to wrap up the final 2 minutes of this contest here tonight at the Savannah Civic Center. Georgia very, very close to their third consecutive Thrasher Cup title. Joe O'Donnell chatting things up with goaltender Harry Kerbo, trying to make it through the final few minutes. Now, I believe we are going to have the presentation of the all-tournament team when it's all said and done right here on the webcast, so stay tuned there for that. I could be wrong, and if I am, Joey, just slap me in the back of the head. We'll be okay. As again, the referee is chatting things up with one of our captains, Ryan Briette. He's trying to make sure things don't get ugly at the end of the game. Georgia and Georgia Tech getting ugly at the end of the game. Heavens to Betsy, no. As we're going to slow things down a little bit again, the linesman talking down to all the players who's trying to make sure everything is okay. I'll tell you what, if things stay the same here in a minute and 52, a lot of fun will be held out in Savannah tonight. Watch out, River Street. Just watch out. $1:52 left in the third period. Let's get these boys back on the ice and wrap this up. Looks like the face-off is going to be held back over just outside the Tech zone, as we've got a Yellow Jacket that's going to the box now as well. So Georgia Tech sending a man to the box for what it's worth. Again, these are all guys that are going to sit for the rest of the game, barring the unexpected. So these are guys that are just being boxed up, just being caged up as a precaution at this point. So Dave Rosenberg is getting a tripping call officially. Also Mike Williams, he's going to get sent to the box for 2 minutes for a cross-check. And Georgia Tech, their penalty is going to be called on number 17, Josh Krissinger. 2 minutes for roughing. All right, let's play some hockey. I'm tired of this. Minute 52 left to go here in the third period. Let's get it on the ice. Lasano there in the face-off circle. He does not win the draw. It's taken by the captain, Mike Zaucha. We've got a penalty as a Georgia player is getting jumped. He is getting jumped, and here we go. Joe O'Donnell is in there to lay down the law. You cannot just jump a guy like Lee Bosma, and Joe O'Donnell is just going to tear this man apart. Joe O'Donnell, big right, and he's on top of him. The linesman's on top of Joe O'Donnell. It doesn't matter. If you try to oh my goodness, if you try to cheap shot at Georgia Ice Dog, Joe O'Donnell is going to be there to make sure you don't get away with that. And I never saw the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket that tried to cheap shot Bosma, probably because he was laying on the ice within seconds, as Joey O.D. gets a standing ovation. So Joe O'Donnell's night is done, as is number 8 for Georgia Tech. That was John Warwick, who probably wishes that he didn't try that. It was all said and done. Boy, oh boy, now the referee's got some more damage to sort out. It's going to be a very long minute and 47 seconds. When that time is ticked off the clock, it's going to be a great night for Georgia fans. Boy, oh boy. Sometimes all you can do is laugh. 4-1 Ice Dogs. The official penalty is going to be a 5-minute major for fighting, of course, on Joe O'Donnell. The same thing will get called on number 8, John Warwick. Fortunately, nothing was called on Lee Bosma, who didn't do anything other than stand there, get his helmet ripped off, and take a few punches to the back of his head while he tried to skate away. So he will stay on the ice. And this is going to be a very interesting face-off right here. A very interesting face-off. The good news is that all of the players are coming onto the ice with their sticks, which leads me to believe there will be at least some semblance of hockey to be played with $1:47 left to go here. But this was a big win for Georgia if they can hang on this last minute 47. A big win for the Ice Dogs. They're ranked number 4 in the rankings in the Southern region in the ACHA. Georgia Tech was ranked number 3. That'll change after this win tonight for the Ice Dogs. Well, we're playing hockey now, and there are no fisticuffs on the ice. That's good news. Played along by the Yellow Jackets. Skating this one through. Poke checked away by Bosma. Giving chase. He throws it in front. There's a chance for the captain. Bassano to the backhand. Save made by Nick Rice. And the players get together one more time. But Bassano is the captain. He's a little bit smarter than that. And if things do get ugly, big Robert Manlove is right behind him. $1:27 left to go in the third period. It's 4-1. Ice Dogs on top of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. John Seaton got my vote for tournament MVP. We'll see if he wins it in just a few minutes. Face off down, it's going to be controlled by Georgia. Cross ice pass, one-time chance for balls, but just wide of the net. And we have a whistle here. I believe the net was narrowly dislodged. They'll set that back in its moorings. A minute 16 left to go here in the third period. Now Georgia Tech does have a man advantage here. There's a minute 25 left on the Georgia Tech power play. They have not used the power play very well tonight, however. Face-off down taken by Georgia Tech. Here come the Yellow Jackets. Finally with a scoring opportunity. Big hit there. Lee Bosma crushing his man into the boards. Watch out for some action after the fact. As Christian Gatung cross-checks Bosma back behind the play. There's a big slap shot. Big hit by Robert Manlove. As Manlove now wants to roll. Big hit there as Bosma takes his man down. Stick flying. Oh, boy. Robert Manlove with a big hit. As number 94 there, Brendan O'Leary wants to mix things up with a hammermill. Just a little bit of talking. Just a little bit of talking. How you doing? You having a good tournament? You want to dance? And my goodness, it is a full house inside the penalty box right now for Georgia. Can they stick any more guys in there? 55 seconds left here in regulation. It's 4-1. Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. It is safe to say now that Georgia, they're going to be the Thrasher Cup champs 3 consecutive years, winning the Memorial Health Hockey Classic. Georgia Tech will have to go home knowing that once again they failed to take the cup away from Georgia, and knowing that more than likely they're seating in the ACHA standings, those all-important standings in the Southern region. Oh, they've lost a spot. They've likely fallen down at least a 4th in the rankings behind these Georgia Bulldogs. Puck down, we're going to play this one along. Georgia Tech controlling, it's the captain, Mike Zaucha. As there's a big shot and a goal. I believe it might have been the captain there, number 19, Mike Zaucha. Making this a 4-2 hockey match, but they're still down 2 with 45 seconds left. My apologies for calling the win. I neglected to knock on wood. I'll do that now. As the Georgia Tech pep band comes back to life. That won't last long. Face off back at center ice. It's the captain, David Bassano. Boss trying to get ready, and the referee is going to have a brief chat with him. Let's see what we got going on here. 45 seconds left to go. In regulation time here in the third period. 4-2 Ice Dogs. They're ready to stick a fork in this one. Back out at center ice. Hopefully we won't have another penalty, although the official is over there having a brief chat with our scorers. Sandy, who does a fantastic job as always. There's no room in the box. We can't do that. Back at center ice. Boss of the face-off circle. Puck is down, controlled by Georgia Tech. Nick Rice plays it. That's likely to be the last time he plays the puck. Rice looking over towards the bench. Here come the Yellow Jackets across the red, across the blue. Big slap shot wide of the net, and Rice is going to stay in net. Now he finally gets the sign, and he's gone. Empty net at the other end for Georgia Tech. Extra attacker is on the ice for the Yellow Jackets. Again, empty net for Georgia Tech. 25 seconds left in the third period. You with a drop pass. Back to Zaucha. Zaucha with a slap shot. Save made by Curbo. And the rebound comes over the near corner. 15 seconds left here. Georgia's trying to hang on. Zaucha playing it back by the net. Over to you. Throwing it in front. Here's a big shot. Great save by Curbo. And some action after the play. Here we go again.
Who scored for Tech?
And boy, things starting to get ugly down there as, again, a linesman just tackling a Georgia Tech player. As they tie this one up. 6 seconds left here in regulation. It's 4-2. Georgia on top of Georgia Tech. The Thrasher Cup will once again belong to the Georgia Ice Dogs. It's been years and years and years since that cup has resided anywhere else. And they're going to stick the captain, David Bassano, in the penalty box. Everybody's in the penalty box. There are about 27 gentlemen in the penalty box right now for Georgia. Yes, I know what the active roster is. I don't care. The whole practice squad is is in there as well. Face-off coming out to Curbo's left, 6 seconds, and then we're done here. Face-off coming down, controlled by Tech. Big shot, glove down by Curbo. The clock's still running down to 1.9 seconds left. Just milking the time off the clock. Georgia plenty of time to savor this win. And I'm just looking at that Georgia Tech pep band up in the upper deck. Just looking at them. Just looking at them. Face it out to Curbo's left. It's going to be Briette in the circle there for Georgia, as again the referee is having a nice little chat with the score. We're going to have some more penalties issued out, I'm sure. Joey getting a great shot of those dejected Techians. Boy, oh boy. And they're resetting the clock to 5 seconds. They're resetting the clock for 5 seconds. All right. Face-off coming out to Curbo's left. Let's wrap this puppy up. Briette in the circle against Zaucha. Linesman's looking at the head official. He just wants to wrap this one up. 1.9 seconds versus 5 seconds. When you're down 2 goals, does it really matter? Let's play some hockey. Four to Ice Dogs, as we have the discussion portion of our evening here tonight. I can't imagine what the issue is. When there's so little time left in a hockey match. Okay, 4 seconds is what they've established, and they're going to put that on the clock. From 1.9 to 5 seconds to 4 seconds. Either way, pretty much as soon as they drop this puck, this game is going to be over. Let's do this now. Briette in the circle against Zaucha. Here we go, guys. 4 seconds remaining here in regulation. Face-off down. Controlled by Georgia. They clear it. It's over. The Georgia Ice Dogs have once again won the Thrasher Cup. Celebrate, Georgia. There'll be some fun held out in Savannah tonight. 4-2 your final score. Georgia rolling over Georgia Tech. In a game that, well, Georgia Tech really didn't have much life to them at all in the third period, except for that one fluky goal. Once again, your final score here tonight, it's Georgia 4 and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 2. Georgia once again wins the Thrasher Cup as they celebrate out there in front of Harry's crease. Harry Curbo with a very strong case for the goaltender of the tournament. He got my vote. We'll see if he got everyone else's. As the teams shake hands out there at center ice, Dave Rosenberg out there with that Georgia flag. Just loving it. As everybody's getting out there, everybody out there on the ice. As the two teams shake hands. Again, your final score this evening, Georgia 4, Georgia Tech 2. We do have the award ceremony up with the all-tournament players. Joey, are we going to have that? I believe we just might. We also will have the presentation of that Thrasher Cup. Still have not seen it here tonight. But good times for all these players out here. For Georgia's seniors, they've won this trophy a lot. You know it means something special to them to not give it up in their senior year. Now, for a lot of these guys, their first year with the team, I'm sure it's got to be a very exhilarating moment for them as well. As again, this one is in the books. All that's left is the all-tournament teams and the presentation of the Thrasher Cup. A lot of the Georgia Tech fans have headed for the exits, but the Georgia contingency is still here in mass. As now the teams are lining up as we get set for our all-tournament players. If you're not happy with the players that were selected, you can blame me. I had a vote in this for whatever reason. I'll tell you right now, though, Harry Curbo and John Seaton were very well represented on my ballot. There's some very happy players out there tonight. You know they can't wait to get cleaned up and take it out on the town. I'll be right there with them. As again, both teams lining up in preparation for recognition for the all-tournament team, which we'll have that in just a second. Again, when you think about the player of the tournament MVP, you think of John Seaton, what he did with all those amazing goals. 3 of them against Florida, and a big one here tonight against Georgia Tech. They can put together a strong case for Harry Curbo and what he's done. If you're not a Georgia fan, Nick Rice had a strong game in net tonight for Georgia Tech, considering the quality of the chances that he faced and the sheer number of chances that he faced. And besides, he had a great game against Florida State, had a shutout there. One of just 2 shutouts that were held in the tournament this weekend. And now it's time to present the all-tournament trophies. And Mike Zoucher, the captain of Georgia Tech, the captain of their power play, has made the all-tournament team. It is much deserved. The second selection, well, definitely deserved. Number 17, John Seaton. And the third all-tournament team, number 12, Tom Porter, who scored that 1 goal for Georgia Tech. He was indeed on my ballot. And Dave Rosenberg is the 4th selection here in the all-tournament team. Interestingly enough, we got Jonathan Ortner, the team captain for them, big number 14. I was going to say, interestingly enough, no players from the Florida teams just yet. And number 36, Jason Goodwin, the goaltender for Florida State, who had the only other shutout of the tournament outside of what Nick Rice did against that Florida State team. And here's your MVP. And it's going to go to number 19, David Bassano, the captain of the Georgia Ice Dogs. Big round of applause for him. It is well deserved. And now it's time for the presentation of the Thrasher Cup. It is a good sight to see. We don't have the best vantage point right here, but that's all right. Accepting it is, looks like Ryan Briette. He's over there with John Seaton. And everybody's going to gather in there for the team photograph. So again, Georgia winning this year's Thrasher Cup. David Bassano recognized as the tournament MVP. John Seaton also recognized on that all-tournament team. Also, Dave Rosenberg, Georgia Tech, they played their hearts out, but it just was not in the cards for them tonight. So once again, the University of Georgia, the 2006 Thrasher Cup champions. That's going to wrap things up for us here. Again, for Joey Fisher, our engineer and video technician, who's done a great job with things tonight. My name is Mike Tingle. You can get a hold of me at mtingle@gmail.com. I appreciate all of you going out to the website at UJ Hockey and checking this out here tonight. Take it easy, everybody.